morning. So I want to start offering some videos that are going to really be with the intention of bringing some clarity into kind of the work that I'm really passionate about. And the reason I'm passionate about it is because I am living the experience of the benefits. In my whole life, I had chronic symptoms, and I really never felt safe in the world. Okay, I felt safe more in the transcendent, and that's why I probably wanted to be in an ashram, and I would spend hours and hours in meditation and would go into the wilderness for weeks on end, right? But then life kept happening, and my nervous system, because it was in a state of low-grade fight or flight, the low grade started to rise up, and my baseline, the healthy baseline that all of our nervous systems should reside at, started to come up. Okay, and this affected my personality. It affected the way I perceived my relationships, my life. I mean, everything. Okay, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter how much time I spent in meditation. It didn't matter how many really awakening experiences I had. What wasn't being affected was the brain's perception. Okay? And the brain's perception of danger that affects the nervous system baseline is happening on an unconscious level. So we're not even aware of it, right? And we're not aware of the default programs and all of these contributing factors that are happening in our brain. And when we start getting chronic symptoms, which happened to me in a very severe way, twice so far in my life, but the second time, which was just 3 years ago, was what catalyzed and forced me actually to understand this science. And it's changed my life. So the purpose, if we have chronic symptoms, and even if we don't, chronic symptoms meaning any kind of pain, insomnia, digestion, dizziness, tinnitus, it can be anxiety. These are all mind-body syndromes, symptoms, okay? They're all a message from the brain that the bucket is getting too full. The baseline has gotten too high, and the nervous system is not able to maintain that constant level of fight or flight, okay? Now, we can have a low-grade fight or flight and still get symptoms because our nervous system is not meant to stay in that level of fight or flight continuously. We're meant to have an automatic self-regulating system that if it perceives danger, yeah, we might get nervous. We might get nervous about talking to somebody or a new job, and this is all normal stuff, right? We want to allow that nervousness because that's a human thing. But then it's meant, once that passed, it's meant to go back down to a baseline, okay? But those of us that have any kind of experiences in life, right? We've gone through life, we've had a lot of stress, and what happens is we lose the resilience. And learning how to teach the brain resilience is a huge part of mind-body science, okay? And so we're able to influence the brain and how it's perceiving. And this is really important, super important, especially if we're on a kind of a spiritual path and we want to know what freedom really is. We can't know freedom if our brain is perceiving danger, okay? And so I'm going to start offering some things here that are going to teach you how to get your brain to perceive safety and lowering that baseline back down. And this is important for people even if you don't have symptoms. And you can see, if you are in fight or flight, a low-grade fight or flight, you might have a tendency to be defensive. You might have a tendency to avoid things. These are all perceptions of danger. And if we're continually going to do that, the bucket's filling up and we're not even aware of it. And then something big can happen and all of a sudden we're overflowing, and then the brain will start to send symptoms. And so learning how to get that baseline back down is beneficial for anybody, not just if you have symptoms. Okay. So I just want to add one more thing. A lot of people will use meditation and maybe like vagus nerve therapy or somatics and things like that in order to teach the brain that to calm the system down, basically. But if the brain is still perceiving danger in its programs, right, in the neural nets, that's going to be a temporary fix. It's going to feel good, and that has its benefit. It kind of gives a break and helps us kind of reset a little bit. But if the brain is still perceiving danger, it's just going to come back up again, because our baseline is raised now. Okay, it hasn't lowered. It's slowly raising up. Okay, and so this is what we're working with in the mind-body practice, in the mind-body science, and it's powerful stuff, because once we get back to baseline, then the whole body can function optimally. That's it. I mean, we need to be at baseline. And then maybe perhaps we can start giving the brain the right information, and it can give the rest of the body the right information for health and well-being. Okay? All right. We'll talk soon. Okay. Bye-bye.